and they would get this kind of Mad Dog 2020 vibe.
Don't talk shit about Mad Dog 2020, Adam.
I will talk shit about Mad Dog 2020.
You haven't had the bling bling blue raspberry. You're telling on yourself.
I can't say I haven't had it. Do I look like a man that hasn't felt the love of Boone's Farm?
Arbor Mist. You ever slap the bag at him?
Cisco and Alizé. I'm from Brooklyn, my friend. I know my way around some Mad Dog 20. The grapefruit was my shit.
We are in studio right now. Me and Big T, Mad Dog McKenzie. Billy is he looks like he's in a 1950s sitcom right now. He look like grown up little rascal, a big rascal Billy. You got the curl going on, the Superman curl.
Superman curl.
No, his girl are going steady.
Billy,
you drive-in movie theater.
You just got back from the malt shop with your best cow?
Yeah. No, this is the first time I haven't worn a hat in a podcast in the past since you guys left. So
your hair is also it's also combed, and I've never seen your hair combed before.
Yeah,
you got gel in there.
I took a shower.
Are you doing another podcast behind our back, Billy? Are you cheating on us?
Because I'm looking all nice for another podcast.
Going on the Dan Bongino show and spouting off takes that you feel like you can't say here, Billy?
Yeah, maybe. No, I just combed my hair. I showered. I worked out before this, and I showered, and then I just came straight to my recording studio.
That's your living room.
Well, no, it's actually my gym office combo.
Which is also your living room, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome back to the show, guys. A little behind the scenes action here. We're just getting ready for an interview. We had an interview with an astronaut, a real live astronaut wanted to come on Macrodosing. And so we were in the waiting room of the Zoom, just anticipating him joining. And we're just, talking about how interesting this guy's life is, how we're excited to interview him. And then Billy goes, "Can I ask him if he's ever jacked off in space?"
Oh my
and
God.
we were like, no, Billy, maybe not in those terms. And he's like, maybe I'll just try to sneak it in. It's like, that's not a question that you can sneak in, Billy. And then after being on hold for about 10 minutes, we found out that he mysteriously cannot make the interview any longer while his PR person was also logged in and listening to the entire pre-interview chat. So Billy might have just cost us that guest there.
To be fair to Billy, that should have been set up front.
Yeah,
there was somebody in the chat.
Yes.
Maybe when they let her in, they should have been like, "Hey, we're letting in his publicist."
Now, what is different? He can see who's on the Zoom, right? Okay, yes. So that's kind of also on you. I can't see who's in it because we just have the TV screen. But also, I do think that should have been said. Hey, just a heads up, PR person's coming in. Don't say anything stupid.
I'm also locally recording, and I have my camera pinned for the Zoom, so I can't really see it. I can, but it's really small.
Bill, you've been podcasting for what now? 4 years?
Okay, you know,
it's I always just act like that person is listening in when we get ready for, especially if it's 5 minutes after the interview is supposed to start. But it's fine. It was a funny moment.
In my defense, you were prompting
Billy.
Me did you do a lot of research on this? And I was like, yeah, these are some of my questions I want to ask.
That's my fault.
Well, so as if no one was here.
I basically was asking you to ask about jacking off in space because I asked you if you did any research on it beforehand.
Yes.
I entrapped you.
Yes. I have so many questions in a bank for astronauts that I've been thinking of because I just I've always wanted to speak to an astronaut before.
So did you do research on the guy or you had questions about jerking off in space prior to? Where'd he go to college?
He was an engineer at a college that he actually helped well, we got to keep him anonymous.
That's crazy, bro.
Oh, that's actually crazy. True. But yeah. I know where it was.
I actually don't think that's the reason why they had to postpone the interview. I think that something came up with him. So, but it is a possibility. It's 1,000,000% a possibility.
Man spent his entire life studying. He's grinded it out. All the astrophysics he had to learn, and he hops on a Zoom and he's like, "I want to ask him if he jacks off in space."
I mean, be honest. You would jack off in space, right?
Yeah, of course,
dude.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And look, the only thing fueling all that studying and wanting to get to space is like, I want to know what it's like in space. I want to know what zero gravity is like. And if you were up there for long ass times and you get all your space work done, you have a lot of free time to just like see cool shit in space. Like the astronauts are all fucking around up there.
Would you
Actually,
jack off?
they have strict policies about not having sex in space. I don't know if they follow it, but there's like strict policies about it because they don't want to get anybody pregnant because of low gravity and all that shit.
I would jack off to like the sight of the moon. I would look out the window and admire the celestial bodies, and it would just be so beautiful.
Beating off to inanimate objects, man.
Yeah, jack off to the sun, jack off to Venus. Venus is hot.
Yeah.
Venus is a good looking planet.
What are you talking about,
Planet of
bro?
love.
Damn, you look at that red spot on Jupiter, fellas. How many beers?
All right, hottest planets, top 3.
Oh, good question. I'm gonna go Venus number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But Mars has a very sexy vibe about it. Red.
that's kind of sus. Big T. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yeah.
No. I'm thinking in terms of your brain. I think this is nonsense.
No,
I
Mars
just
isn't
think-
sexy. How is Mars sexy?
It's red.
No.
You see a woman in a nice red dress, you know?
I'm talking Saturn's got some BDE. I'm just saying.
She's married.
Yeah.
Don't mess
I
around
think
with
no-
married women, Billy.
I think number one for me is Venus. Number 2 is Jupiter. Jupiter's a pog, big time. And then 3. I mean, I liked Earth. Am I allowed to say I like
You're
Earth?
such a simp for Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
time
that-
this comes
that's
up,
pretty
you just
lib.
love this goddamn planet. Trash.
That's like asking a guy like, Nate, who's your top 5 hottest chicks in the world? He's like, well, number 1's my wife.
That's you with Earth.
I would say Uranus is pretty hot.
Sick.
It is.
No.
Uranus. I mean,
Yeah. Good looking planet. And then I'm going to go Neptune.
Neptune is actually probably the prettiest looking planet. It's blue and shit.
Mhm.
It's pretty not hot.
I'm a freak for Pluto.
It's not a
Oh,
planet.
yeah.
It's still a planet to me.
Hate to be that guy.
So dwarf
No, 'cause
planet,
it's
that's
like-
kind of some freaky shit, Billy.
It's forbidden. It's
Yeah.
like forbidden. It's like, oh, Pluto's not a planet. Like you can't talk about Pluto, but I'm like, yeah, Pluto.
Pluto's the size of like anal beads. I could fit Pluto up my butt.
Okay. No, right. How was everybody's weekend?
It was a good weekend.
Terrible.
I had a great weekend.
Yeah. Damn, I spoke that shit into existence, huh?
Yeah, I have a bone to pick with you.
Shit's fucked up.
So
Hey man, they should have won on paper, dog. That shit is crazy.
here's the thing. Like, I follow Tennessee football way more closely than Arian, right? That's fine. But this is a game that, like, you played there, 0-2, as has everyone who's played there since 2004, hasn't won there. You know that we don't win this game. And you were like, yeah, they're going to kick their ass easy.
They should have. Like, I watched Florida against Utah, and I was like, yo, this team stinks.
They
Like,
do stink.
They suck. And like, there's no way Tennessee should have lost that game. They just choked it off, man. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. That's why you play. That's why you play between the lines, not on the paper, though. It is what it is.
So
I
Big T,
wore
what-
Tennessee polo out
Oh,
and just
no.
got relentlessly chirped.
Big T, you should ban Billy from wearing Tennessee merchandise.
What was the thought behind? Was this like before the game started?
I put on a Tennessee polo and I was like, I'm going to watch the Tennessee game. I'm hyped. I like to think as a Northeasterner, you don't usually like have allegiance to a college football team, but I thought because of this podcast, it was fine to be a Tennessee fan. Showed up, they didn't, and just got literally booed at the bar, and it was terrible.
Who was booing? Like, who cared?
Other bros.
That's a weird reaction, like in a bar in New York, like unless
I-
it was Florida fans.
No, they were just like, "What the fuck, dude?" And I felt responsible. So now I know what it's like to hold the, just like deal with having Tennessee on your back.
You
Yeah.
can't have Billy ruin. Billy's a loser. All of Billy's teams are losers.
Hey, yo, please.
No,
cut
the
that.
Water Dogs.
Cut that out and just have that shit on loop. That's hilarious.
Billy's teams always lose, all of them.
The Water Dogs are in the championship.
Well, yeah, but that's different. That's my team.
Isn't that like a 4-team league?
No,
No, there's more.
I think there's 8 teams.
Okay, 6. So this is the Celtics titles in the 40s.
Well, we're
No.
returning champions too.
Oh, awesome.
We're dynasty.
the talent is also much more concentrated, so it's harder to win.
So Big T, you don't count Bill Russell's rings?
They're different. There's something to be said for being the best amongst who you played with, but they are different.
I'm with you, dog. I get shit about that all the time. About 1975 is when I start.
70s is when sports start counting.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
Big T, can you just walk us through what your Saturday was like, and were you ever optimistic about it, or from the kickoff, was it just dread?
I was pessimistic most of the week, and then Saturday rolled around. I was like, they suck. Like, we're going to beat their ass. And then the first drive, we were awesome. And then the play that you've probably seen on social media happened the drive after, where Florida had a run up the middle that should have been 7 or 8 yards, and Kamal Hadden just like his controller died, and he decided, like, instead of tackling, I'm just going to like lean into the guy. And then it turned into a 60-yard touchdown. And then after that, the vibes were very, very off. And, lost happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. So at the start of the year, you predicted how many wins guaranteed?
I honestly don't remember. Probably 9.
I think it was 9.
I think it's at 10.
So where are we at now?
I could be wrong.
Ask me after South Carolina, which is this week we play UTSA. If they lose either one of the next 2 games, we're in very big trouble. But
I don't think Tennessee would ever lose to South Carolina. That would never happen.
All right, stop. So if they can beat South Carolina, then things can look up. If they lose that game, we're in bad shape.
And where are we at with Joe, Bazooka Joe?
Joe was not good, and I don't think he is very good, but on the list of problems, he's 3rd or 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the offensive line is atrocious. The offense just doesn't go at the speed that it did last year, and the play calling has been very vanilla, which I find really interesting. I don't know if it's because they don't trust Joe or what, but like, it literally, like, the speed of the offense is much slower, which makes it much more easy to defend. So he has not been great, but like, is he awesome? Probably not. Could he be serviceable if we fix 7 other things? Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a fair statement. It's kind of like the Jets with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson wasn't the reason why they necessarily lost.
That is true.
But he wasn't. That's
very absolutely
good.
True.
He wasn't very good either.
Well, he made some great throws. There was some throws he made that they were either dropped or, the one I'm thinking is Lazard stepping out of bounds, where he literally spun out, avoided Micah Parsons, who was just bearing down on him, and threw an absolute dime 60 yards down the field that Adam Lazard caught, but he didn't have his feet in bounds.
Yeah, he also sucked ass in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, because he's trying to make plays. Like, if you saw his last 2 picks were more trying to make a play than, like, I don't count those as bad picks. His first one was bad, but like, he's balling out there. And did you see the rush he was playing up against?
Yeah.
And he was also the leading rusher on the Jets. He had the most running yards.
That's very sad.
Breece Hall, like, Nathaniel Hackett should, I might go to New Jersey and shave off his fucking goatee if he doesn't, start getting something together where we can have Zach succeed. I mean, the offensive line play is weak, but I think the Dallas Cowboys rush is probably one of the best of the league.
Yeah. I want to go to a tweet that you had yesterday, Billy. You said, I don't think there has been a team in history that has had more hype and underdelivered than this current Jets team. This is the I think you should leave meme. We're all trying to figure out who did this. Billy's trying to figure out who hyped up this Jets team before the season started. It was you.
It was me.
You hyped it up. You're addressing this to yourself.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's when I was down. Then I went back and watched the tape this morning. Every Monday, I watch every offensive rep by the Jets. Defense, I don't really have to worry about. Yeah, they had a lot of points scored on them.
Their defense sucked yesterday, Billy.
I know they had -2 fantasy points, but I only had time to write 1 blog before this and watch all the tape.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like that's what would be concerning to me, is that your defense stinks.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm now on the upswing on them, hope-wise, because I watched Zach Wilson throw a couple dimes, get absolutely pressured out the wazoo and then have to go off platform and causing him to throw a lot of his picks. But he also made a lot of plays on those rollouts too. So
when you're using fancy words, you're using fancy like descriptors like off platform that caused him to throw a lot of picks. What you're just meaning is you made him physically take a couple of steps, and then that screwed up his entire throwing motion, and then he threw boneheaded picks.
Anyway, moving on. But the Patriots, even though like on paper, the Jets should be competitive against the Patriots on paper. And seeing the Patriots last night, they're ass. Like they did have some stuff at the end of the game, but they were beaten throughout.
Do you think that you'd rather be a Jets fan right now than a Patriots fan?
Yeah, because I think if our Jets defense show up like they did against Buffalo, and we, a week of watching tape of Zach Wilson in the offensive line, hopefully trying to get marginally better and not having Micah Parsons blitzing every down, we might have, a Copus Mentis team when they play New England next weekend.
What does Copus Mentis mean?
Like ready, willing, and able.
Okay. All right. Copus Mentis.
Like not crazy, not like stupid.
So prepared.
Yeah.
You'll have a prepared team.
Capable.
Okay. And Zach Wilson, we're going to stay with Zach. Are we bringing another option?
Because if you look at it, anybody behind that offensive line, someone less mobile, because there's no one with the mobility of Zach Wilson who's available. Anyone who is less mobile would have been mincemeat in that game.
Carson Wentz.
Oh, here's another take I have. Josh Allen is teetering on becoming Carson Wentz if he doesn't make some changes and get a little more disciplined.
All right. What do you mean teetering? He is so far away from being Carson Wentz.
Look,
he makes some dumb decisions sometimes because he's trying to make a play, but he is a better athlete than Carson Wentz is. He's bigger than Carson Wentz. He's faster than Carson Wentz. He's stronger than Carson Wentz.
I know, but the thing is, and the guy who knows it is Diggs. Like, he needs to, if Josh Allen wants to make sure that this doesn't go sideways, like once again, week 1 against the Jets, he needs to stand in the pocket and, play a little more conservative with the football.
He should go out there and win by double digits against a team that he should beat and throw for a few touchdowns, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but also like not too crazy shit.
That literally all happened yesterday.
I know, but that was a weak team.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the fact that you're still delusional about Zach Wilson. I like that.
No, I watched the tape. He made some great plays.
Never give up on a guy.
But like literally, Dwayne Brown isn't in game shape. Our offensive line, McGovern, like they need to get their shit together because if you had Zach Wilson clean for about 50% more plays than he was, it would be a way more competitive football game.
All right, so Zach Wilson, we're gonna try to ride it out, see what happens with him. Any other NFL takes that you have?
No.
Okay.
I noticed you didn't ask about the Falcons. They shout your failures and whisper your accomplishments.
That's true.
2-0.
Big T, congrats on your Falcons.
Yeah, 2-0. They're good.
You only care about the Falcons.
Yeah, I've always said
NFL guy.
NFL way better than college football.
Yeah, Falcons look good. They're just playing old school football. Just running the ball right at your face.
Bijan is awesome. Arian stepped away for a second. I wanted to. There he's back. I asked Arian if he'd watched Bijan Robinson yet. You said you hadn't. He's amazing.
Yeah, I watched him in college. I knew he's going to be a really good running back in the NFL. Just has that it factor. Gets upfield really well. Great balance. Dude's gonna be nice. I saw that he had somebody in my fantasy team had him. In my fantasy league had him. So I think he went off last weekend.
Yeah, he leads the NFL in rushing, I believe.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's
nice.
Fast. He's so fast. He's got those fresh legs. And Big T, you're right. My Commanders are also 2-0. How about that?
Yeah,
it feels good to be undefeated. Feels really good. Now we do have the Bills this weekend.
I just want to let you know that was PI. You didn't answer me in the group chat, but that was PI.
No, I did answer you. Did they call it? Did they call it?
No, I didn't call him.
Well, then it's not PI.
It was absolutely.
No.
You did answer me. Yeah, my bad.
This is soft NFL. You want this ticky tack nonsense?
No, what? I think if it's if it's blatant like that, because what happened before that was so amazing. Like you gotta play this one straight up. Usually I'm like let the players decide it, but that was PI. That was bad.
I disagree. The most egregious. Actually, there were two bad hits this weekend. There was that one on Logan Thomas in the end zone where was it Kareem Jackson just launched himself at his face and knocked him out. That was bad. But maybe a worse hit was Colorado State, where Travis Hunter got hit in his abdomen. And I saw a report today that he has. I guess Skip Bayless reported this, which is a shocker that Skip Bayless is back doing journalism. But according to Skip, he has a lacerated liver.
Yeah,
and
David
is expected
Pro
to be
Football
out
Doc just confirmed
for 3 to 4 weeks. Which
what does
I don't
that
know.
even mean? A lacerated liver.
I don't know what the recovery on a lacerated liver is, but it feels like it should be more than a month, right? Your liver is pretty important as far as your body goes, and probably pretty painful to get it lacerated. But that was a dirty hit. He took like four steps afterwards.
So it may have been like a grade 1 laceration or a grade 2. There's multiple grades, but I think a grade 1 is probably what he had. But that number 11 on Colorado State was the same guy that got duped out in the last play of the game. So karma got him.
I've heard of this before, right?
It says online that lacerated liver usually takes 2 to 4 months to fully heal.
Yeah.
And it's basically internal bleeding. Like his liver's
That's
just
crazy. I never even heard of that before.
I mean,
I've heard it in like car accidents.
Yeah,
no,
Which I mean,
it is like a car accident injury. Like an internal organ getting ruptured, like your spleen or your liver, or there's also like an artery that goes down your spine.
Oh yeah,
and if that, it's not femoral until it gets to your leg, but I forget what it's called. But those types of injuries, they happen once in a blue moon in football, and yeah, it's basically like you got hit by a car. That's fucked up. I do love a good liver shot knockout if I'm watching MMA, though. And you see a guy get punched, and then he takes 2 steps backwards before the pain hits, and then you just get paralyzed because it's so painful, and you crumble to the ground. Those are fun to watch. But, I mean, this was just, like, such a dirty hit. It was disgusting. But it sucks, though, like, as a football fan, we're not going to get to see Travis Hunter. I hope he's okay, like, as a person. But also it's a bummer because he was so fun to watch, and he's playing, every position, offense, defense, out there the entire game. Stinks that we're not going to be able to watch him. Probably
for their 2 biggest games.
Yeah, for their 2 biggest games, maybe for the rest of the season. I mean, I don't know how bad it is, but
Deion
said 3 weeks, so they seem to think he's coming back.
It's not
Deion said 3 weeks.
This
3 weeks.
This happens a lot to spleens in high school with kids who have mono and don't know.
Mm-hmm. Because it swells up.
They lacerate their spleens. But yeah, the number 11 guy. I wouldn't be surprised if their head coach told him to just try to take Hunter out.
That'd be dirty, dog.
Mike Norvell.
Jay Norvell.
Jay Norvell. I always confuse the two of them. Mike Norvell is at Florida State.
Correct.
How did the handshake go? Because I left.
They was chopping it up. Like it looked like they were saying something to each other, but you can't really tell what they were saying. Not like talking shit though.
And Shadur Sanders was right there too, and he did his, I guess now patented, kind of flashed his watch at the Colorado State coach.
Showed him the time.
Yeah, he's done that several times now. I guess it's kind of his move.
I don't like that move.
Does he wear it while he plays?
I don't think so, but he must have put it on like right when the game ended, maybe.
I saw the post game handshake. What I think happened was that Norvell was like, "Hey, all respect for you and your program and what you've built. Things get twisted in the media. Didn't mean to come across that way. I respect what you're doing." And then Deion was like, "Thank you for respecting me." And then that was the end of that conversation. As an amateur lip reader, that's what I thought I saw.
I'd have been talking long shit. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He said goofy shit. He would say, he was like, my mother taught me better than to wear glasses during the press. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. You sound like a hater. Just big hater vibes from that type. You pull your pants up type guy. That's what he is.
He's like, my mother taught me that when you're speaking to adults, you take your glasses and your hat off.
Yeah. And then Dion brings his mom to the pregame. Dion's so extra, bro.
He's so funny. He's so funny. And well, to Norvell's credit, he almost backed it up. Like the team, Colorado State should have beaten Colorado. It was a crazy comeback at the end. Yeah. But if he had backed it up, then it's like, oh, what are you going to do? We gave you all the bulletin board material that you needed. You still couldn't beat him. It was an awesome game though.
It's just this is gonna be an interesting season because he's had Lil Wayne. We talking cool. A Grammy-winning or like one of the greatest artists of our generation performing at a college game. But Dion's different though. Like,
he let him out of the tunnel.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just they got Hall of Famers on the sidelines. Like you just going to Colorado State, you have no chance. Like it's tough, man. It's tough.
They're gonna have like Beyonce running Ralphie the Buffalo out at some point.
At this point, though, you don't get much. This is a little like I know we don't. This is one of the greatest artists of our generation, though. Just randomly at a Colorado State game.
Did you guys see Kodak Black in the locker room of FAU?
No.
It was so funny. The coach was like giving his like pregame speech, and Kodak Black was just like not chirping, but he was like doing ad libs to the coach's speech and just sort of messing up the coach. And he's like supposed to be there to like support the team. But I just like the whole time I was like, oh my God, this coach wants to yell at Kodak Black so badly. Cause it was like a kid, like just like trying to cause trouble on the football team. But it's one of the funniest clips ever. And then he leads them out. But I could just tell that coach the whole time was like, I know this is good for recruiting, but this guy better stop interrupting my pregame speech.
I just went and found it because I remembered I wrote a blog last September when Georgia Tech fired Jeff Collins, their old coach, that they should try to hire Dion because so look at what he's done at Colorado. If he was in Atlanta, Colorado is the hottest program in the country right now. He could have done that. Taken all the players he took to Colorado to Georgia Tech, and like in the epicenter of like hip hop and all that stuff, that he would have. It would have been unreal.
That's Black Mecca right there.
Yes, Atlanta, where he played, like that would have been incredible. But he's done it in Boulder, Colorado,
which is a fire. I mean, Colorado's an amazing place. But like you gotta go out your way to go there.
Yeah, it is awesome though. I love Boulder.
It's crazy. Is there a Boulder airport?
Yeah,
probably. Sure. Yeah, I would imagine that they've got an airport. It's not far from Denver either.
Yeah, so I actually think you just fly into Denver.
Yeah, it might have like a private airport.
I'm sure it does.
Most college campuses would. We know Denver's got an airport.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying, all these celebrities going to the Denver airport, going to Colorado for these games.
Very interesting.
What are you saying, Billy?
Dion went to Colorado, Denver airport. Lil Wayne. What's going on?
What is going on, Billy?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to connect Colorado football to the Denver airport.
Nice.
And they're very connected.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, speaking of mysterious jets, we are on an APB right now for an F-35. We got a missing F-35 somewhere in the continental United States, perhaps, or maybe it's flown out to sea. It was just north of Charleston. They were doing a military exercise, and a pilot ejected, leaving his F-35 Lightning. I believe it was an F-35 Lightning C.
I'm seeing 2.
It was okay. F-35 Lightning 2, presumably on autopilot and continuing its flight. Now, that's what they're saying. So they're asking for help. So if you're listening to this podcast right now and you see an F-35 flying by your window, please let us know. Call us up, leave a voicemail, and let us know exactly where it's located. But apparently it's just gone AWOL. My thought as a plane guy, if the pilot ejected from the flight, my guess is there was a reason why he ejected out of the aircraft. And so the airplane was probably going to crash soon anyways. I don't think it's still flying anywhere. That's my guess, because you don't hit the eject seat on a perfectly good F-35, because that's like, I don't know, $70 million worth of plane.
Yeah, everybody's freaking out about losing an $80 million plane. They're like, how do you do that? We've given $100 billion to Ukraine. What's an $80 million plane?
There you go.
Everybody's freaking out about this. You should have been freaking out about the $100 billion.
Yeah.
Well, everybody everybody's saying that it's in these lakes near Charleston, Lake Marion and Lake Moultrie.
Mm-hmm.
But if they know it's there, they'd say it. Like, they still can't find it. Everyone, because I wrote a blog about it, and everyone's like, "Oh, they know where it is. It's in the 2 lakes." And it's like, well, they don't, because it's not that hard to like look into a lake and see if there's a gigantic plane there.
Fat Amy's drowned herself. Yeah, I think that this plane is probably long since crashed, but it's really strange behavior for the government to like publicly say, "Hey, can you help us track down this F-35? We had a little oopsie last night, and so it'd be nice if you guys just keep your eyes out for it. Let us know." Like, it's a lost dog.
It could be in the ocean, I think, more realistically. Like, it just flew out to the ocean like Batman at the end of Dark Knight
Rises, yeah.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely still isn't flying, because it was probably going to crash, and that's why the pilot bailed out of it. So I don't know exactly where it went missing, but it could be in the ocean. It probably crashed somewhere, and then hopefully they don't know where it is, and then one day, like 50 years from now, a treasure hunter is going to find an F-35 lost at sea.
I just hope it didn't fly to like Russia or like, and they're going to reverse engineer it.
That would be something. How would they do that, Billy, if it flew to Russia? Would they like just put a giant net up in the sky?
No, I'm just saying, like, what if it was hacked or something and they like ejected the pilot and they're just literally like stealing the plane using computers?
Like Gone in 60 Seconds, but for planes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that of all the dumb things you've ever said, that's probably the smartest.
You've said this multiple times. So that, but like, it could have been hacked. I don't know.
So the range on the plane is like, I think
1,200 miles.
1,000. I was going to say about 1,000 miles. So that's not going to get you to Russia. But you could hack the plane, have it fly, intercept it with a big tanker aircraft, connect it, refuel it, keep it flying to Russia, and then boom, you've got an F-35.
Yeah. I just hope it's not stolen. You know what I'm saying? Because isn't the F-35 the most advanced?
It depends on what you mean by advanced. The F-22 is a better plane, I think, but F-35 has like crazy electronic warfare capabilities, and it's stealth, so it's got a small radar cross section, but it can get it. So you can have one F-35 that's like flying, not even engaged in the battle, but it can be like locking up enemy airplanes for its own friends, and be like, attack this one, shoot this one, shoot this one. Basically acting like a giant eye in the sky, and then playing chess with all the other airplanes that are out there. So it's a pretty cool airplane. But the F-22 is way more like crazy and advanced, and we won't even sell it to other countries. We'll sell the F-35 to you if you have enough money. But
oh, really?
The F-22, it's like, no, that's just for us. That's our main bitch.
I mean, it's so stealth that we can't even find this one. Like, it's not even on radar. Like, that's what's the craziest part about it. Like, there was no like, what happens if we lose one of these? Like, shouldn't we put like what if like this guy had a tile or an apple thing that he left in it, and it was the only way to locate it?
Or left his phone on board. He's calling it. Call my phone real quick.
Oh, dude, I left my phone. Can pilots bring their phones on board?
I don't think so. Probably not.
I know one of my buddies, I don't know if they can in F-35, but one of my buddies who's a pilot, he sends me Snapchats from his plane. He goes, and he flexes on all of us. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. So, Billy, what are they trying to distract us from?
I don't know. The Mexican aliens?
The Mexican aliens.
From Congress.
Holy
the aliens.
Shit, bro.
Sir.
What?
The Mexican aliens?
The bodies. Did you see that? In Mexican Congress?
I see. It took me a second.
I know what you're talking about, but
they're actually from Peru.
Interesting. Oh yeah, we talked about that last week.
I saw the nastiest shit I've ever seen. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but all right. So I'm driving, right? And we had a stoplight. And you just look over, see who next to you. And it's this lady, this older lady. She's probably like 40, 50, something like that. I look over, and she is fucking wrist deep in her nose, picking this shit, right? And she pulls out her finger and just eats it, right? Wasn't done. Goes to the next nostril, gets up in there. And I'm just like, my mouth wide open. I'm like, hey, yo, what the fuck? Just unapologetically in her shit. But then and I've seen that before. I've seen people do that. I don't understand it, but this is not why I'm bringing this up. She goes from one nostril to the next nostril, and then does something I have never seen in my life. If anybody has ever wore earrings, you know how fucking disgusting this is. She takes her earring, like twirls her fingers in the back of her ear, and then just starts going to town on her fingers and just starts licking it. And I'm like, this is the nastiest shit I've ever. She is one step from eating shit. That is I just never, and just at a stoplight. I was flabbergasted.
Wait, what?
She's cleaning at her fingernails with her earring and then eating the junk?
No, bro. She's taking, like, I don't know if y'all have. I used to wear earrings, right? So like the whatever, like, it's funky. Like, when you take out your earring, it's nasty. Like, it smells horrible. Like, everybody's earlobes it's just nasty. She takes that, like, pus and just starts licking the pus from the back of her earring. I had never. It's the nastiest shit.
Wait,
but like right after going wrist deep in her nostrils, she goes straight to the ear, and I'm like, yo, this is the craziest, nastiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Though I think I only went because she started going. I was just staring at her in shock and awe. I had never seen anything like this before. It fucked me up, yo. I didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't know there was. Your ears made pus.
I don't know if it's pus. I don't know what it is. Ladies, y'all can back me up. Y'all wore earrings. You know what I'm saying? You know, like when you take your earrings out, it's for whatever reason. It's like nasty.
There's like, I don't know what it is, but it's like when you put it inside the earring hole and then you take it out, there's just like, it's almost like fuzz-ish type stuff.
It's nasty. And
did you see you looking at her?
Huh? No, she was so happy enjoying her meal. But I wouldn't have stopped. Like, I told my daughter that story. She said, you should have honked.
Yeah.
1000% should have honked.
Like, stop
Holy
that.
Shit. It was weird. I was just like, if she looked at me, my face was just, my jaw was dropped, and I was like, hey, yo, what the fuck am I watching? It was wild, dog.
So,
full 3-course meal.
Is that a psychological condition for people that do shit like that?
Has to be, bro. That just eats, because like I'm sure y'all seen somebody eat their boogers before, right? Y'all seen that, right? I don't know what that is, dog. I've never had that inkling. Billy, you strike me as one of them cats, yo.
No, I don't. What? When you're a kid,
see,
you what? You didn't eat your boogers as
never
a kid?
Once have I pulled something out of my nose and ate it, bro. What are you talking? No.
I definitely did.
I would actually.
In, like,
why would I
kindergarten.
lie? I'm 37 years old. Why would I lie to you on this podcast?
To try to be better than us.
I am not better than you because you ate boogers, but it's weird as shit. I'm not better than you.
You're 6 years old. You get a booger. I ate it, and then somebody was like, "That's gross. Don't do it again." I was like, "Okay, I'm never gonna do that again."
I do think you're definitely in the minority if you're saying you've never done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because.
What? Yeah,
that's
for
how,
sure.
That's how you're supposed to build your immune system.
Okay, well now, see, no. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
No.
For hundreds of thousands of years, nomads all across the land have been picking their noses, getting diseases, and this is how we adapt.
This is why COVID happened, because we stopped eating our boogers.
No, the evolutionary reason, and I looked it up, why monkeys do it, why like they do it is because
like animals clean themselves. They like lick their own butts and stuff, but I don't think licking your own butt helps build your immune system.
In your mucus, there's white blood cells. And when you have viruses, bacteria that go up your nose, they fight the viruses and bacteria.
Hey, bro, listen,
kill them. And then when you eat them, you get low-level exposure.
Reverse engineer an argument for you being dusty. You eat
it's disgusting,
yeah. Nasty, being you trying to reverse it. This is why we do it. Fuck out of here.
No, but
dusty little. You was a dusty little kid. You was the kid that used to like just wear the same socks 2 weeks in a row. Huh?
No, but like that's why it evolved, because it exposes you to weakened germs and viruses that get killed in your mucus. It's disgusting, but there is a reason.
I've never ate my boogers. I apologize. I don't think I'm better than you because you did. I just think it never appealed to me. I never looked at my booger. I was like, wonder what that tastes like.
Salty.
There are people that there was
I just Googled it.
There was a coach on the German soccer team a few years ago. Do you remember this guy, Big T?
Who got caught?
Their old coach.
I remember this.
He would pick and eat his boogers on the sideline. He would also like put his hand down his pants, scratch his asshole, and like his balls, and then bring it up and smell it real quick.
I think Rafael Nadal has done that also.
Really? I think that's probably the same type of mentality that you have if you're eating your boogers or eating your earring fuzz. Like you're in love with the smell of your own body.
Yeah, that.
Have you ever seen the video of the monkey scratching his ass and then smelling his finger and falling out of the drink? It smells so bad. That's an all-time internet video.
Oh, you know what video I saw recently? A bunch of monkeys at like a beach resort were drinking leftover alcoholic mixed drinks and then just getting hammered, and that was hilarious.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that one? There was also one where they were eating that old fermented fruit on the ground. I forget which one it was. I forget which animal it was, but yeah, seeing animals.
Oh no, I remember this. It was from Walking with Beasts. Maybe. It was the prehistoric little horses that were eating, and they got hammered.
Maybe I don't remember where I seen it, but yeah, yeah, that's nasty, man.
It is nasty. God bless that lady. I hope she's doing okay.
Oh, she's getting her fix, man. Wherever she, I think, what does food taste like to her? You know what I'm saying? Like a nice steak, and she's like, yeah.
I feel like I go back and forth on public shaming because I think if that lady, if like a video of her licking her own earring, if that came out and she was forced to watch it, she would be so embarrassed that she would stop doing it.
But then why do you do it if you're embarrassed of it?
I don't know. I think that there's like a drive for her to like just eat her own body.
Yeah, I mean, if you get off of doing this, hey, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I was just shocked because I didn't know that was a desire. You know what I mean? Like boogers, I've seen it before. I don't understand it, but like, yeah, do whatever do you think. I've seen it. It's not going to stop me in my tracks. But that shit, I've never seen anybody take the shit out of an earring. It was that's just weird, dog. I've never seen it.
In the non-poo-poo pee-pee category, what would be the grossest thing for somebody to like eat of their own if they were cleaning themselves up?
Stuff between your toes.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
I'm gonna keep it a band, bro.
Boogers.
I think the ear thing is probably the nasty because it actually stinks. It actually smells. Had none of y'all have worn earrings before?
No.
All right. Okay,
I can't imagine it's worse than toes.
I promise you, dog.
Earrings
go home tonight. Go to your lady and ask her what does the back of her earring smell like, and she'll be like, "Yo, that's nasty."
Yeah, I agree.
I'm telling you, dog. It is one of the worst smells a human can make. Like, it's low-key why I stopped wearing earrings. It was just a nasty smell.
It also smells bad because it's like if you shower with them on, then your like shampoo and stuff gets stuck in there.
Doesn't that clean it?
No, it'll like get caught in there, and then it'll just kind of like rot.
What about earwax? I feel like earwax would be grosser to eat.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Earwax, you know, because I clean it out, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It has nowhere near the smell. Like, I'm telling you, dog. Go home to Shorty tonight, bro. I promise you. Be like, let me smell the back of your ear. And she gonna think you're crazy, but just smell that shit. Go smell Shorty earlobes, bro.
My grandma used to always tell me, like, make sure you wash behind the back of your ears.
That's probably where that came from. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope she's okay. I hope that lady's all right and thriving. Was she a good-looking lady?
I couldn't get past what she was doing. I don't even remember. I'm traumatized.
How? Name a celebrity that she would have to be as hot as for you to be like, look past all that bad stuff.
If like, I mean, that's obviously not a one-off if she's doing it in a car.
Right.
No, that's a mental thing. We got to go seek help. Something's wrong. Like, we can't enjoy the same meal because in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, you're just going to like sneak off to the bathroom and like fucking eat nasty shit out of the corner. I don't know. It's just weird, dog.
Is it worse if she does it secretly or if she does it openly?
I think the secretive part is like then you're doing it behind my back. I'm sitting here trying to help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if you were dating
off and eats rat
Selma
feet
Hayek, and then but Selma Hayek was just like eating her earring fuzz all the time, openly in front of you, I could get past that.
In front of you or in front of other people?
In front of everyone, if it was like an open thing.
If it was only alone in her car,
then you kiss her. Nah, I can't.
I'd be willing to overlook the fuzzy smell.
Go home and smell your lady's earlobe. Like, why you think I'm bullshitting? This is the nastiest. It's like it's defecation and then earlobe.
Oh man,
those are the two worst smell. Defecation is obviously first, but it's the next nastiest thing that the human body produces. I promise you, man. In my opinion, it's nasty, bro.
I wonder how many people do weird shit in private that's just totally ridiculous, but just no one knows.
Everybody.
There's like murderers in private, bro. Like this shit gets weird, dog. If you were, you know how if your friend is a weirdo or not, just take their phone and pretend like you're going through it. Just pretend. I've done that shit before. People freak the fuck out, dog. Shit's funny as hell, dog.
Breaking news: the U.S. military has a missing jet hotline. So,
let's share it.
So it's 843-963-3600.
Well, we can't call it because he can't identify planes. So.
You shut the fuck up.
Oh,
we'd be of no use.
I can identify. I'm so good at identifying planes, Big T.
You'd see it, you'd have no idea. You'd be, is that an F-12?
An F-12, yeah. F-12.
Is that a G?
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no G. It's an F-35. I could identify.
What does F stand for?
Fighter.
Oh, I was close.
I don't know. I just made that up. I'm pretty sure it is because then you've got like the B-2 bomber, which would be B for bomber. Yeah, B-52 Stratofortress.
Wait, hold on. B-2 bomber, so it's bomber 2 bomber?
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. Who's naming planes? That shit's
it's
dumb
like when
as
people
hell.
say MLB baseball.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's right.
Okay.
B for bomber, F for fighter.
Yep.
H for search and rescue.
So yeah, if you've seen the plane, give the hotline a call. Fuck, how cool would it be if it just like flew past your house right now? The crazy thing is,
Let's just hope it doesn't hit anybody.
Since it's so stealthy, like it's hard. We couldn't track it. It works against us a little bit. No, that thing definitely crashed. That thing crashed probably like seconds after the pilot ejected.
I hope it landed in the ocean. No one got hurt.
It's got to be so funny, or really kind of like the most stressful thing ever, but funny to think about. If you're a pilot that ejects out of an F-35 and you're just like calmly like floating down to Earth, and you're like, oh my fucking God, I just wrecked an $80 million plane. But you're like just so peacefully drifting down in the wind.
Yeah, you can't even enjoy the ride.
Did you get fired?
You probably get the military equivalent of fired for wrecking an F-35, unless it wasn't your fault. Unless maybe it was like the ground crew's fault. Something's up with the plane, something outside your control. But yeah, if it's pilot error and you crash an $80 million airplane, yeah, you're probably going to be peeling potatoes for a while.
You know the dudes that like hop out of their cars and like road rage stuff, but they don't put their car in park.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like it's like.
There's plane rage.
Or like the guy who falls out of their own boat and their boat's just going around the lake with no one in it.
Yeah, I remember that one video, bro, of those. It's like six white folks in a boat, and they just hitting turbulence, and they just keep, and it just and every bump gets more and more intense until everybody on the boat just flips over.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. That's one of the funniest videos of all time, dog.
It is a very good video. The one dude, I think the bald dude, right, that just like goes completely sideways, doesn't even try to brace himself.
What?
I hope they're okay, but it's a very funny
I hope
video.
they're okay. But that video when it used to get set to like music, like beat drops, was so fucking funny.
That's 1,000% all their fault. I don't care. That's all their fault. Slow down, dogs. What are you doing?
Yeah, and stay out of Lake Lanier.
Always.
Oh my God! Somebody tagged me in a video the other day too, where they were doing shark looking or whatever the fuck it's called. Where you in a cage,
shark looking.
Cage diving.
There you go. And so they was doing that, and shark got in that bitch and they were scrambling, they were scared, and he survived. The shark was scared as shit. They be scared, but like hell no.
If you're doing that, you want that to happen.
That's
no.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a reasonable person who does not want to encounter a shark doesn't do that.
You want to encounter a shark. When I go shark looking, I want to stay in my cage. I want to have the shark outside my looking cage, and I just want to observe the shark, and I want the shark to swim around and maybe come close, and maybe I'll think about reaching out and touching it, but I won't actually do it.
You're describing watching a video of a shark, which you could do right now.
It's different.
Did you guys?
I've never done it, but I assume it'd be. You don't want the shark to like be in the Thunderdome.
I think you do. I think subconsciously, even you do, or you don't do that. A reasonable person doesn't do that.
I'm agree.
Arian and I, we stay out of the water.
There's nothing for me in the water. I'm not an aquatic being. Fuck out of here. Anything that happens to anybody in water is entirely your fault.
Have you ever gone spearfishing?
What? I've not.
Spearfishing is pretty fun.
No, I don't. No, I don't. There's nothing.
It's like hunting for me underwater.
I'm not a hunter.
Okay. Did you guys see the video of the beached great white shark and all the people
I'm not a hunter.
Yeah, those people were insane too.
And the shark was like about to knock someone the fuck out.
Oh, they trying to pull him back in the water. Like, what are we doing?
And the shark is turning around, like trying to bite him, and they're still trying to help the shark.
Dude, just that like. Honestly, I'm all for saving the sharks because way too many of them get killed every day for shark fin soup or whatever. But the shark that's near where people swim, the great white shark, let's not put that back in the water. Because what if those guys, like, because they thought they were like helping a beach to whale type thing, but it's not a whale, it's a shark. And if they'd gotten that shark back in the water and it attacked someone in the shallows, like, that's the, like, don't save that thing. Like, that's the one that you stuff and put up on a bar. As a mannequin.
In pencil,
hit it in the nose and see if they really get hurt by getting hit in the nose.
Pencil, you would just beat the shit out of the shark?
Just hit it in the nose 1,000 times. And see
you would just clobber
works.
it? It's like it came into our hood. We gotta beat the shit out of this guy.
Herb stomp the great white shark.
I'm watching the video right now. Dude's in Pensacola, Florida, dragging a great white shark back into the ocean. These guys are idiots.
Goofy.
This seems like a very Australian thing to do.
I'm just saying it's kind of legendary.
Yeah, so I could definitely see Billy doing this. If you happen to be on the beach in a great white shark beach itself, you would get into like Billy the explorer mode, where you'd be like, no, we have to return it to its natural. You'd start talking with like the Steve Irwin accent. We have to take this beauty, Crikey. We've got to take this beauty back to her home. Look at her. She's struggling. She's gasping for air.
No, I'd probably pull it farther onto the beach because you don't want that thing. Because imagine if you pulled it back in and on your conscience, some little kid got eaten by a great white shark and you pulled it back in the water. That's just like assisted manslaughter.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
How?
I wouldn't live. My conscience would be killing me if I pulled that shark back in and attacked
the Brandon Miller of that situation.
Yeah.
Delivered the weapon.
I'd rather pull that shark up onto shore and beat it to death and then get like the wildlife charge.
Billy,
and then be like.
The funny thing is that like if you dragged a shark out of water, you wouldn't have to then kick its ass for it to die. It's just gonna
wait a few minutes, bro.
Yeah. Billy just starts punching it.
If you're a real man, you'd fight him underwater.
Yeah,
I know, in his turf.
Fucking coward.
But then he'd win. Or do a little shallow water work.
Yeah, you don't drag the shark back in on like a swimmer's beach and send it back to the ocean.
Go home, little buddy.
You take pictures of it for the gram. You treat the shark like it's an escaped fugitive in Pennsylvania, and you get all your boys around it and take pictures like you just captured it. That's what.
Dude, I want to see that photo so badly just to see the guy's face who's caught. Like, is he smiling? Is he posing?
He's bleeding pretty bad from the face.
Yeah, he was not smiling. He was not happy.
Damn. They should do a manhunt sim. Like, we were talking about the bank robbing simulator, like for team bonding. They should do like a prison break simulator and just like you have to like escape a prison with your boys and then go on the run. And then just have like a manhunt chasing you just to simulate the adrenaline rush.
That would be fun. I could get behind that.
Yeah.
But have it be like a prison where there's one way that you can escape and you have to find out what it is?
Yeah, it's like an escape room, but prison themed.
Yeah.
And then
immersive.
also once you get out, they chase you.
I like that. There needs to be more danger simulators. All right. Well, anything else we want to get into today?
Chicken wing diet.
Oh yeah, give
completed.
us an update, Billy. I'm thinking about taking on the chicken wing diet because the Commanders have the Buffalo Bills this week. So I'm thinking about eating nothing but chicken wings to prepare my body, getting ready for it.
I lost 10 pounds.
Yeah, but then the Jets lost too, so it's not a good if you want your team to win.
Yeah, true.
But he wasn't playing the Bills. They weren't playing the Bills that week.
So, Bill, you lost how many pounds?
10 pounds. I weighed in at 232 on Monday.
Why do you have that scale? Why do you have a 1950 scale?
Because it was in the gym. I don't own a scale.
Okay.
So
so you're pushing the dial to the left, like what the fuck, bro? It's 2023, bro. Get your ass out of here with that.
That scale's the only one that works. Like, really, that's the only scale you can trust.
Definitely not true.
Why do you think you lost that much weight?
Because I was only eating chicken wings. It basically not only that, but also I was tracking my calories, and I was burning 4,000 calories a day.
Oh, so that probably has
out.
something
That's
to do
why.
with it. If you're burning 4,000 calories a day,
But I do that normally. That's just like it was a great week last week, and so it was sunny all week. So I was playing 2 hours of basketball before the sun went down every night.
So what percentage of your weight loss would you prescribe to the chicken wings, and what would you prescribe to working out for like 2 hours every single day?
I would prescribe a good amount to the chicken wings just because it was making me operate without carbs and at a caloric deficit. Because, even if you eat 20 chicken wings, like let's say I was eating 28 chicken wings a day, the calories on that is 90 a wing. So 90 times 28 equals 2,500 calories. And that was just all protein.
Mm-hmm. And fat.
And fat, yeah. But it was no carbs, so your body was burning it more efficiently. I was in ketosis. I thought I was eating too much salt on that Wednesday when I was like, I'm feeling lightheaded, but that was just ketosis.
Got it. I also like that Billy describes his body as just operating. Like I was operating at a caloric deficit.
Yeah.
Billy's getting up, he's blogging. I'm operating right now. My body's operating.
Yeah, my brain's operating. But on Friday, I was 222 pounds. So it was 10 pounds. But like, it's pretty easy to lose. You can lose 10 pounds in a day if you wanted to. Like water weight.
Yeah.
I think it was about 5 real pounds and like 5, because it was after I worked out, I weighed myself. And I think it was like 5-ish pounds of water weight.
You're supposed to do it in the morning.
Yeah, but after work, because then I didn't eat I ate the meal of chicken wings before. So because then it would only been 4 days.
And also Billy wanted to have the biggest number, like the biggest, number of pounds lost. So I understand why he did that. There's probably some truth to getting in ketosis.
Before you work out, so you get your actual weight.
It probably would have been a better number. It probably would have been a better number if I did it in the morning.
Are you like LeBron where you gain weight when you work out?
No, because I was eating and drinking water before I took that away.
You weighed yourself at night?
I weighed myself at 4 o'clock after working out, so that it was kind of a day. But I probably would have weighed more in the morning. I mean, less in the morning. I mean,
you would have weighed less in the morning.
So I'm kind of continuing the diet, just not chicken wings. So I had like rotisserie chicken for lunch, and just like going high protein, very low carbs, because I think it's working. But I did weigh myself on Saturday after beers and Italian food because I just was craving carbs, and I was 230 again. So it wasn't really sustainable.
No.
Well, congratulations, Billy. I might
try
anyone
this diet. who's trying to do the chicken wing diet. Also, I got Buffalo's my favorite, but honey sriracha wings are insane. Definitely recommend trying those.
I did a diet like that. I ate nothing but potatoes for I think I talked about this, but I ate nothing but potatoes for like a week straight.
Oh, you're Irish.
7 days. Definitely wasn't Irish. And I lost I think it was 11 to 12 pounds, something like that. Crazy.
Yeah,
That's just the Irish
a
peasant diet.
It's a diet that doctors prescribe sometimes.
Potatoes.
If somebody is like obese, you say, okay, you can eat all you want, but it's just potatoes. If you have like real heart trouble too, if you've got like congestive heart problems, your arteries are clogged, you tell people, okay, just eat a potato. Eat as many potatoes as you want, but you're only allowed to eat potatoes, nothing else. And yeah, the weight just melts away. Kevin Smith did that, the director.
Yeah, the potatoes get a bad rap because, people are like afraid of carbs, but potatoes are like the most nutrient dense foods on the earth. It's just how we dress them. So like people have like a baked potato with sour cream and cheese and all this shit, and then it gets bad. Then you fry it, and then it's bad. But like just a potato, it's like some of the most healthiest shit you can eat.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the NFL lineman? I know we talked about NFL weight loss, like linemen losing a ton of weight, but did you see what Russell Okung did?
No.
What did he do?
Yeah. He lost 56 pounds in 40 days only drinking water. He did a water only diet.
That sounds dangerous.
Was fasting.
How long did he do it?
He did it 40 days.
He fasted for 40 days.
Yeah, I guess
there's no way you can't go that long without food.
I know. So I'm trying to figure out.
It had to be something else, bro.
He said that I think he was definitely taking vitamins and stuff, but he was just literally using his body's fat reserves.
Yeah, because I forget it. Was it like 2-3 weeks or something like that? It's like the most you can go without food, without calories.
Yeah, he was 192 pounds. He was 300 pounds during his playing days. But
did he document it?
Yeah. If you know him, could you maybe call him and ask him about this? Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But like there was a guy who he was like morbidly obese, and all he did was drink water and take vitamins and not eat, and he went like a year and he just drained all of his fat storage, like what it's supposed to be used for dire starvation situations. And
you're saying this guy didn't eat food for a year?
Let me find it.
It seems suspect.
That didn't happen.
No, there's no way.
Angus Barberi, look him up. He went 380 days fasting between 1965 and 1966. For 1 year and 17 days, Angus Barberi ate no food at all and lost a staggering 125 kilograms, which is around 275 pounds.
You cannot go a year without.
He lived off a diet of just tea, coffee, soda water, and vitamins while living in his home in Scotland.
Right. This was in the 60s. Nobody could verify anything. He just
I know,
said
but he
that.
still lost all the weight. I mean, I'll send the
I'm
picture
sure he
to the group
did,
chat.
but he ate food.
Right, but still, he
he had vitamins.
196. Wait, after he fasted, he weighed 195 pounds after weighing close to 456 pounds.
Well, good for him.
Wow. But it has been done. I mean, I don't know, like, that's insane. But I think that's what Okung did.
That takes some commitment to going that long without eating any food at all.
I mean, I guess if you hit ketosis, hit that level of where you're eating at your own body instead of food, and, taking vitamins while drinking coffee, tea to keep your energy up, I think it is possible.
What would your first meal back be?
Oh, I'd eat everything. I'd
go to a buffet, Golden Corral,
steak, pasta.
Yeah, I do a nice steak, medium. I cook a bomb steak.
I hope I can eat steak regularly again one day.
Yeah. So how's the acupuncture going, Billy?
Good. I have a needle in my ear still. You can't see it. I'm documenting the whole thing so people who also get afflicted by alpha-gal syndrome will be able to take my advice and hopefully one day not have reactions anymore. But literally, you probably can't see it, but inside my ear,
that thing's gonna smell so bad.
A needle that's covered up by like skin colored, like Band-Aids almost. But tomorrow, Tuesday, if you're listening to this, I have an appointment and they're just going to make sure it's in the right place. It was the weirdest thing ever. They made you hold a metal rod and like test for the allergy. Like acupuncture is weird. It works for some reason, but I don't know what the science behind it actually is. Like I'm trying to look for like the scientific explanation of why it works, because apparently for
do we know that it works?
Tons of people. Yeah, I haven't had a reaction since getting this needle in my ear.
You've also just been eating chicken though.
Right, but also, I do have the casual like pork or bacon. I'm supposed to avoid I can't eat a whole steak, but if I have like a little bit here and there, like a carnitas taco, like a little, like I haven't had a reaction. I'm supposed to slowly, gradually eat more and more, and haven't had a reaction since.
Casual pork.
Like this weekend was the first time I was allowed to eat a little bit, and I was eating a little bit and wasn't having anything happen. Like, is it electricity? Is it like the nervous system reacting to the point? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think that there's probably something to it. I don't want to completely dismiss all non-Western medicine, because there's probably some stuff that works that we haven't tested out to ourselves. But I'm rooting for you, Billy. I want my boy to be able to eat steak again.
I started following this page, and I don't know why. It's just satisfying. It's this dude that he's a chiropractor, and he just snaps people's necks and backs and shit. And I don't know, before this podcast, I was driving back home, and like just listening to it. I just was watching them. I don't know why.
It's good stuff.
Doctors, there's a lot of there's a debate going on. Like a lot of medical doctors don't feel like it does anything. They think it's placebo, and they actually advise against it. But people swear by it, and like there's not much literature that says that it's beneficial. So I don't know. Is acupuncture in that same?
Yeah, it is.
So there's not really a lot of science behind it.
Yeah, but like the allergist that diagnosed me with being allergic to red meat and alpha-gal syndrome just said, there's nothing we can do. Here's an EpiPen. If you go into anaphylactic shock, hit yourself with it after eating red meat. But like these people have a solution, and there's scientific journals saying that it works. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I really want to know, like, what mechanisms is it doing? Because I know some of it is BS, like, talking about my chi being out of place. I mean,
your chi is out of place though, bro. Come on, fam. You got to keep it a buck, bro. Your chi is out of whack, dog.
Maybe my chi is out of whack. But
there was one time I did acupuncture. I used to do acupuncture. Like we do shit called dry needling. Dry needling really helps. So it's like if you have like a sore muscle or something, they get in there literally with a needle and just go in and out, and it like releases, and then like it's basically like a trigger point, like releases a trigger point. But I did this one 2008. I was in Arizona. I'll never forget this feeling. I was having some pain somewhere, I don't remember. And this lady was like, go to this acupuncture place. And I was like, I bet. So they did it. They put like a couple. I was laying there for like 15 minutes, put like a couple needles. And then all of a sudden I felt like this rush. It felt like an adrenaline rush. And it was like all down my spine. And then it happened again later that night when I was laying in my bed. It was like, whew, and I was like, hey, what the fuck is? I have no explanation for it. I don't know what it. Maybe it was my chi. You know what I mean? Getting back in.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know if it did anything for me, like per se, like as far as like helping me. But I know I felt something. Like I felt a weird like rush. And maybe it was just like blood flow, open up some blood. I don't know, but it was. I felt something. I don't know. It was. There was a Holy Spirit leaving my body. Big T. Mm-hmm. That could have been it.
It is wild. Also, if you're a chiropractor in the New York City area and you want to film a video where you crack the shit out of my back, Arian, are you down for getting your back cracked?
I go. I crack my shit all the time. I love chiropractic. Like it feels good to me. Like I'm definitely down. I don't know. I don't know if it works or not, but it should feel good though. So
would make a great macrodosing YouTube video. So if you're a chiropractor and want to get some,
Billy just want free work done. That's all.
Yes. No, it'd be great for the YouTube. Us getting cracked.
Why?
People would watch that shit if we did the microphones. Like you were watching it on the way here.
That's facts. I'd be watching that shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
So would be a great opportunity.
Also, Arian, this week,
Dallas. Hold on, real quick. There's a
Yep.
dude in Dallas that I watched. This is why it's so crazy, right? I'll send you the link, though. He does this thing. He'll be like, make your belly jelly, right? He gets people to relax their stomachs, and he gets behind them and he pulls, like they laying down, and then he pulls, and they like latched in. So he pulls up, and you can hear it. And like I've been watching compilations of him, and like when I tell you these people like change, like this one lady that starts busting out laughing and then starts crying. She says she felt like it's been a release that she hasn't felt in like 15 years. She starts talking about her mom dying and shit. Crazy. Like shit, either they are the best actors of all time or like this shit really like helps people. I'm thinking about going to Dallas to get this nigga to pull on my neck, dog. It's crazy to see the release that these people get, bro. It's like emotion. It's like an emotion. You can see it in their face. I'll send y'all one of the YouTube shorts.
That's wild.
It's crazy. Like dog, they pull, and then all of a sudden, they go, oh my god! It's like a emotional release, dog. It's the crazy shit. I'll send it.
Just get your back cracked to be like, oh my god, all the weight has been lifted since Aaron Rodgers got hurt. all of my concerns, all the hope I had that was lost is back. Hey,
Ring Dinger. That's what he's called. He's called the Ring
Dinger. I'll reach out to him
Dinger.
and hopefully we can get that going if you're willing to travel to Dallas.
I'm definitely down to go to Dallas. Man.
Hell yeah.
Are you gonna feel upset though if you get your shit cracked and you don't cry? Like if you're just like, oh, that was pretty good. Won't that be like kind of underwhelming if you've seen all these people have these big cathartic moments?
Yeah, I want a cathartic moment. I want to go in there and talk about my childhood. Absolutely, man. I'm gonna break down to this nigga. I'm gonna bring my therapist
to the chiropractor.
Nah, I don't give a fuck. I just hope that shit feel good because I actually had an L5S1. Like, so that's the thing. Like, he'll be treating. He'll be like, you had a herniated disc and yada yada. So I had a herniated disc. I had an L5S1. And then I have a pinched nerve in my neck. And when this is what's I guess abnormal about because like I watch a lot of these back cracking videos. And a lot of people just, they do the neck or they do the back and they roll you over with all that stuff. This one is very unique because like when he does it, he said, all of them say the same thing. He said, you should feel it all the way down. Like you should feel a release all the way down. And all of them say it's all the way down. And I've never gotten my back popped to that extent. So like even if I don't go in there talking about my mommy issues and shit, you know what I mean? I want to feel that all the way down shit. Which I don't have any. I love my mother. She's amazing.
I have an L5. I cracked my L5 vertebrae. So it's funny to meet someone else with some L5 problems.
Is it?
You guys can bond. Two former athletes.
Yo, your L5's fucked up. My L5's fucked up.
Yeah. That's.
Do you think though that release thing, that's like them, like they're like paid actors? Like, you know how in those like big mega churches when they're like putting their hands on someone and they all of a sudden they start going crazy.
But you can tell they full of shit. I can't anyway. They full of shit. But
they could be good actors.
I think about it. They're not full of shit. They believe that shit is happening to them. The pastors know they're full of shit though, right? Like I think when you get in a big social setting, like those kind of things can like draw out emotions in you that feel like something, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like people speaking in tongues is actually some of the funniest shit I know. I've ever seen anybody speaking tongues in real life, bro. That shit is fucking hilarious, though. But aside from that, like these people, like it's just them in there. So it's like they're the great actors, bro. Like, but there's compilations of them. It's like hundreds of people. So like either he's finding hundreds of out of work actors, or these people are really having a great experience. And I don't know, man.
There is a strike.
Fan. That's a writer's strike though.
They're out of work. Dude, I would love to go to one of those mega churches. I think that scene in Borat where he goes and he's like feeling it. Like I would actually want to go just to see if it happened. If I just started speaking in tongues.
I went to Joel Osteen's church once.
What was that like?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was cool. I don't hate religious people. I just, you know what I mean? It's not for me. But like I like checking out the experiences and shit. And so like, yeah, I went to one. I was supposed to interview him. He was supposed to come on my podcast. And I think at first they were like, oh, former athlete wants to interview. Absolutely. We're going to do this. Hey, you want to come on my show? And then they were like, hey, he wants you to come on his show. And I was like, oh, awesome. That's amazing. And then like, I think 2 days later they called back. And I was like, hey, we don't really think, it's fine. I was like, oh, you just had somebody go, I don't think this is What
They
you
like
want?
they just Googled you.
Billy wasn't in
Yeah.
the Zoom asking if he jerked off in space.
You ever jerked off on your private plane, Joel?
Oh, you know what that reminds me of?
What does jerking off in a plane remind you of?
No, just talking about Joel Osteen and
Hangover.
mega churches.
Okay.
There is an abandoned old theme park in Connecticut called Holy Land, and it was built as like a Bible themed Disneyland.
Ken Ham. I know this place.
Yeah.
So, back in my picketing atheist days, there's this dude named Ken Ham who's a creationist. So who he believes, similarly to Big T, that the Earth was created 6,000 years ago.
He's
The
got
universe.
a good
I'm sorry,
museum
not
in
the Earth.
Kentucky.
Oh,
Well,
that's the Creationist History Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good
And
museum.
so it's like, so he has like animatronic dinosaurs chilling with like cave people, like nomadic cave people. It's just the funniest shit in the world, though. So like Velociraptor right next to like these kids playing by a fire. It's just hilarious, though. Ken Ham.
It's no, isn't that the life-size Ark?
Yeah, he's got the ark there.
Yeah.
I think he I could be wrong, but I thought he made the dinosaur museum.
Yeah, it's the same one. I
Yeah.
think
Same-
at
oh,
the
same- okay, yeah.
I think that's another feature that they have there, which is the recreation of Noah's Ark.
That shit's hilarious to me.
Also, if you're listening to this right now, we've got the debut of the Ryder Cup on the Barstool Sports YouTube. Check it out. Arian traveled down to North Carolina. I was there. A bunch of people from Barstool were there. We competed in a 3-day tournament with different formats. Spoiler alert, Arian and I are on opposite teams. He's on the blue team. I'm on the red team. And Arian, I think you impressed a lot of people this week. You were pretty good.
I did my thing. I've gotten way better since then as well. But yeah, I played pretty well, man. I played okay. I
heard
happy
Arian
with the performance.
demanded to be on the blue team.
Yeah, I wanted to be opposite of PFT. I wanted to whoop his ass.
So it's
Not
who's
true,
on
by the way.
who's on your team? It's Arian, Dave, Jersey Jerry, Riggs.
Yo,
The crew.
There's a scene with Jersey Jerry, bro. He wanted the caddy. Do you remember that shit when he wanted the caddy for us? Shit lasted one hole. Am I not gonna give spoilers?
You can say that, yeah.
Bro, he wanted the caddy for us, so he was gonna caddy 18. That shit lasted one hole.
He had 2 bags on his
He had
shoulders.
2 bags, bro.
He was like,
But
yeah,
just
bully golf.
Bro, just the picture of him, because it was a downhill and he was like struggling. It was like, yo, put this shit back on the cart, bro. That was a funny ass moment, though.
Yeah, it's going to be some good videos coming out this week. So, you were on Francis's team on day 1, right?
Yeah.
That I caddied around.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was homie hopping.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. He was caddying for us at first, and then PFT got mad, and it was like, you supposed to caddy for us. And he's like, I gotta go caddy for PFT, man. I was like, get your ass on then. Fuck it.
Yeah, I stole Billy from you.
Yeah, he stole Billy from me. That was a Buster move, by the way.
Whatever, I'm Buster. What can I say?
Buster.
Guilty as charged. All right, so we're done here in studio, but we've got a great interview with Adam Richman. You might know him from Man vs. Food. You might know him from a number of series that he's done. And he's coming to us. We sit down and talk to him for a long time just about food in general and pepperoni. So this dude, as Arian says, is an almanac. He's an almanac of food. So great interview, fun guy, and we'll have him back on. All right. And before we get to the interview, it's being brought to you by our great, great friends over at Sport Clips. That's right. Sport Clips is the best place for a guy to get their haircut. Best place for anybody to get their haircut. They've got the legendary hot steam towel, the MVP experience with massaging shampoo. Great, great place. Fantastic establishment. Your hair might grow fast, but after going to Sport Clips haircuts, you wish that it grew even faster because they have the best seats and hair. And that might or might not be because they happen to be right in front of TVs. They play sports all day, every day. And we know that watching sports while getting a haircut sure beats watching your reflection get a haircut. So at Sport Clips, you got clippers and curveballs, high tops, Hail Marys, and even waves and wickets if you're into that kind of thing. Come watch an endless stream of sports on TV while getting an awesome haircut. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. Check Sport Clips out. Go get your haircut at Sport Clips. I'm in need of a trim. I got some split ends. Need to go get those taken off the edge. So it looks like I'll be making a date with Sport Clips. Sport Clips is a game changer. And now here he is, Adam Richman.
Memory is fucking impeccable, by the way, man. Oh my God.
We welcome on a very, very special guest. It's Adam Richman. He does have impeccable memory, maybe photographic. Him and Arian were just catching up about some commonalities that they share. And Adam's joining us today because he's teaming up with Hormel Pepperoni. They're doing the first ever pepperoni pizza pop-up shop, helping fans gear up to celebrate their overwhelming love and fandom for pepperoni pizza. I can get behind that. So it's from September 13th to National Pepperoni Pizza Day on September 20th. They've got all sorts of limited edition items that are dropping. I'm excited to have you on. I do love pepperoni. Nobody dislikes pepperoni, right? Even people that aren't meat eaters, they're still like, yeah, you know what? Let's get a pepperoni pie.
I mean, they make vegan variants of it because people love it so much. But the thing that people sleep on, they all think it's Italian. Pepperoni is an American product. Pepperoni was created in the earliest part of the 20th century right here in New York City by Italian-American immigrants, and they were just making versions of sopressata or salsiccia. But pepperoni, as we know, it was popularized and created by Hormel in 1915, dude. So pepperoni, I know it sounds Italian. It's associated with marinara sauce and pizza and these other Italian things, but pepperoni's American. So
that's a very fun fact.
Right. And I think the thing is, especially since Man versus Food and trying to uplift and elevate American businesses, I work a lot with veterans. I'm the proud son, grandson, nephew of a veteran, that, this is this thing that has has Italian sounding name and, always covered in tomato sauce. And yet it is an American product. And, in Minnesota, in Iowa, millions of American families have made their livelihood on this thing. And, people shit on American food and you go abroad and they don't realize how much of it they're still consuming. Wow. And it's really cool. And the other thing is, like you said, pepperoni pizza is universal. It's affordable from, people, in working class to multi-billionaires, that everyone knows it. Everyone knows what it tastes like. It's a price point that's accessible. It's a food that's accessible. And if you don't believe me how universal it is, look at the pizza emoji on your phone. That shit doesn't have mushrooms on it, does it? It's pepperoni.
Good point. Yeah, Billy?
What's also pretty crazy? Tomatoes aren't even Italian. Tomatoes come from South America. They didn't get back to Italy. Isn't that crazy too?
The seeds, and there's variants of tomatoes and stuff like that, but you're 100% right. Like things like arancini, the use of rice, you had the Moors invading Italy, and then suddenly you began seeing orange flavors coming in. And this is why I love food and why I dig food history and culinary anthropology so much, because it is this story that we tell. And yeah, like, I think it's dope. And look, I'm a sneakerhead. I love like the hyper strikes and the quick strikes, and I like the way that Hormel's doing it. I mean, if you go to Austin, Minnesota, you can see one of the OG buildings when George Hormel founded the company, and he admits that it was the sausages that kept them afloat. But when you realize the reach, like I've had pepperoni pizza in Greenland, that people know it and they love it, and from a flavor profile, right? Like, why do you think on a counter? You go to the average pizzeria with like the shitty Formica countertop. It's got garlic powder, oregano, and hot pepper. You need that contrast. Pepperoni has all of that built in. And now you have what they call the pepperoni cups, where like it curls up and makes those little magical grease chalices. Well, like that is in and of itself kind of interesting. I'm a big fan. They make a turkey pepperoni at Hormel. And what I do is I cut it into super fine ribbons, let it brown up in the pan, then crack eggs in it, and then do like ricotta mozzarella. And it makes like this sick blintz meets an omelet. I don't know, whatever. It just blows my damn brain. But the other thing that's kind of cool is that it's decidedly non-pretentious food, other than the fact that I take a lot of pride in it, that it's American and I am American. That to rock some merch that shows you're into food and you're into a food we all love, that's not like douchey and erudite and exclusionary. I mean, and they make cool stuff. They got pepperoni pizza rims. They have earrings and necklaces. The rims are fly. I've actually seen. I saw a picture of them today. But when we filmed, like they have some, like they've got like cool functional stuff. They have bedding. They have this lamp and stuff. They got a cornhole game, which is super cool. There's a really cool artist out of Austin, Minnesota, that made like pop art, like sort of that like Roche, Peter Max vibes. But I think there's that thing, right? Like when you meet someone who likes smash burgers, and you do too, or someone who likes bacon, like, okay, Arian, you're from ABQ. You know about green chilies in Albuquerque. That the thing is, if I say to someone, are you at school in Knoxville? So I talk about how I got my hat, like the flat cap I rock at Mass Brothers, or that I went to Ye Old Steakhouse, or that, I've had green chilies at the Frontier Restaurant in Albuquerque. There's that commonality. When I tell you,
crazy that you brought that. You're like you said, your memory is insane, dog. But like, people don't understand how good. I tell this people all the time. The food in Albuquerque is so unique.
Yes, sir.
The Southwest cuisine is very unique because it has this mix of like Mexican, but also there's a reservation right there. And
yes, sir.
You get this Native American mixed with Mexican cuisine that is just, you can't get anywhere else. And I tell people that all the time. But it's crazy you brought it up. I want to ask you a question, man.
Yes, sir.
Because you started, I guess where I knew you was Man versus Food, and I was like a huge fan. We've been following each other for like years.
Yes, sir.
And so it's amazing to me. I always tell people, because I went vegan in 2012 for like, it was like a year. And it was like before, veganism had, shops on every corner. So it was very controversial. But the one thing that I noticed was how entrenched food was with our culture. So every holiday, every birthday, every get together, every single thing that we celebrate as human beings involves food. And I want to get your take, because you mentioned like the culinary history it tells a story. So I want to get your take on like the evolution of our cuisine in this country, and what it means, like what is American food, because you have such a diverse palate.
I appreciate you saying that, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and it's funny because I remember when that happened, and I had like this whole scandal when I went vegan for a little while to cut weight for a celebrity soccer match, and I had this British coach who was vegan, and he's like, I really want you to do it. And I said, why? And he's like, mate, lighter bodies travel faster and jump higher. So get lighter, mate. And like you said, the big joke about being vegan is like so popular now that I heard someone say, if someone did CrossFit and was a vegan, which one would they have to tell you about first? But, the thing is, this country did not originate with folks with my complexion. Right? Like, unless you are Navajo, Arapaho, Apache, Iroquois, Cherokee, like that's American cuisine. Everything else is because of immigration. That you can taste slavery and war and immigration and famine and, factory farming in every single plate. So if you think about the most iconic American dish, right? Like soda, French fries, and a burger. Okay, well, burgers literally bear the name of a German place. And even though they're popularized by Louis' Lunch on Crown Street in New Haven, Connecticut, it's a hamburger steak. It's chopped, it's beef haché or whatever. But then French fries, that's Belgium. And soda is Italian. So right there, you got two of the Axis powers from World War II in the most iconic American dish. And what I think is, we're blessed, right, to live in a country where we can fast by choice and go hunting on a full stomach. And food now for us is exactly what you said, Arian, that it's like celebration, it's identity, it's a language. So one of the cool things is, as we celebrate something like National Pepperoni Pizza Day, it gives us a chance to examine our relationship with that food. On St. Patrick's Day, I'm not Irish, but you'll have corned beef and cabbage, boxty pancakes, potato bread, cold can and potatoes. and all that stuff. And it's a chance to learn that other culture. I grew up in Brooklyn. I was born in 74, and my neighbors across the street were Sicilian. So I'd have caponata and I'd have homemade pasta, not because they were trying to cook Italian that night. That's what grandma made. My neighbors to my left were Syrian. We would have shawarma, we'd have kibbeh, we'd have tabbouleh. Again, not that they were trying to be down or I'm in my Middle Eastern food era. That's what they ate. And so it's this language. So for you and I to talk about Albuquerque, like when I met Arian at one of the Super Bowl events, I posted a picture and I titled it "A Jew and an Arian." Was you can talk about the Frontier Restaurant. That's John Wayne's favorite restaurant, and yet, as you said, they're serving Mexican stuff. They're serving Native American stuff, and it's loved by one of the most iconic American entities ever. Pizza. Let me tell you, every culture on planet Earth has a flatbread. There's lambajun. Pizza itself was called plakantos, and it was made by Greek soldiers by putting dough and olive oil on their shields and cooking it. That's why Mongolian barbecue was cooked the way it was. They throw their shield on the fire, and they would move the meat around with swords. And there's a reason for things. There's a dish in the South. So I went to Emory and Clark in Atlanta, right? There's a dish called Hopping John. It's one of my favorite food stories that we have in America. And this is why, to address your point, Arian, in terms of the history and why we have this connection to it. You go to Savannah, Georgia, you go to Charleston, people call it the downtown market, but there's the old heads that know what the hell it is, and they say it's the slave market. Mm-hmm. Hopping John is a dish that was popularized in these southern slaveholding states, but it uses pigeon peas. And the slavers were usually French, and they would go through Puerto Rico. So people who've had Puerto Rican cuisine know of arroz con gandules, pigeon peas. Well, pigeon peas in French is pois pigeon. To a slave's untrained ear, pois pigeon became Hopping John. Mm. And so the idea of this dish that is served by white families, served by Jewish families in the South, has its root. And so suddenly you are tasting a whole bunch of American history in this dish. So when you go and you have pepperoni pizza, there are millions of hardworking American families in Ohio and Iowa and Austin, Minnesota, that are making this sauce. George Hormel said it himself. He said the only way that we stayed afloat in the early years was our dry sausage business. Mm-hmm. And now you think, oh, pepperoni pizza, like everyone else says, it's me, Mario, whatever. It's American, dude. And I love that. And I love the fact that you can go around the world and people know it, and they may shit on American food and American culture and this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, right. Meanwhile, enjoy your pepperoni pizza with your Coca-Cola while watching Family Guy. I try to hear that. So yeah. I love that. And I love the fact that, we could talk about Knoxville and talk about Dixon's Barbecue and the pig burger at Dixon's Barbecue, the old steakhouse. And I don't have a fraction of your athletic. You've done two things that I wish I could do: played for the Dolphins and be on Hawaii 5-0. You know what I mean? And but I could say to you, you have a Leonard's Malasada. Did you eat it? Kahuku Soubrette and have that poke? And we're right there. Stella Blue Coffee. The second I mentioned that in the interview, immediately there's a bond because we've had it. I've had Pardon My Cheesesteak in the studio. Mm-hmm. We know the damn thing. I met Bradley Cooper at like a movie premiere, and I didn't go, oh, I really loved you. Which cheesesteak, bro? It's like, Jim's, where's yours? I'm like, Ishka Bibbles and John Rose pork. And it doesn't have to be about who you are, what you make, where you're from. And that's the beautiful thing. And it's why, pepperoni pizza, we all know it. We eat it. Sometimes you do it after a night out, do it the morning after. And I think that's why I dig the fact that there's merch. It's not a Supreme box logo t-shirt. It's not the newest collab with Noah or Amélie Andore or, Moose Knuckle and Stone Island or some shit like this. It's the food we love with the stuff we use. And I don't care if it's, we had these really ill pepperoni pizza earrings. And there's this locket that I actually think is kind of fly.
I love that. So, yeah.
Right? There were these socks I fully copped to. I tried to steal when we filmed all the internet stuff. It says, They got him here. It says, I only stand for pepperoni. And I think it's cool. It's food, man. It's food, from the most $1,000 a plate Michelin dinner to the greatest slice in your neighborhood. It's made with people. I mean, think about it. The act of creating something from raw ingredients that I can give you that nourishes your body, makes you feel better, can literally heal you in the case of things like chicken soup or juices, turmeric, and things like that. But pepperoni pizza is ours. And as an American, that's a point of pride for me.
That's very cool. And also, cold pepperoni pizza. Cold pepperoni pizza the next day, that's its own type of food, too. It tastes different, soothes you, great hangover food. I actually have a question for you about alcohol, because I've always heard alcohol was developed across the world independent of other cultures. Every culture figures out a way at some point to make alcohol.
Without question, because fermentation.
Overall, I'm curious, like, were they developed by all these cultures for the same reason, because it feels good to get drunk? Or was it a necessity for some cultures and more of a celebration for others? Or was it, tell me more about how alcohol came to be a thing all across the world, despite these cultures not interacting with each other.
I mean, so many big food inventions, if you can call them that, were accidents, right? Like cottage cheese. Bedouin had a skin, like a wine skin, like you'd see in Spain, and he had milk in it. But the skin has rennet in it. That's just what the stomach would have. And the motion of riding on a camel combined with the heat created those curds that we now think of as cottage cheese. That's the first iteration. Because, any milk or even butter, right? There's solids and liquids. So when you hear like brown butter, it's the solids in the butter getting toasted. That's why you get what they call in French beurre noisette, like a hazelnut taste. So it's an accident. So fermentation is the yeast, because anything fermented is alive. A bottle of wine is alive, cask beer alive, and that's why, like, you open a bottle of wine one day to the next, from 1 week to the next, that wine's going to have a different flavor. So some wine was created as a sacrament, and I think that I don't necessarily think, like, when you hear about, like, in ancient Greece or in Israel, that the high priest at the temple was like, yeah, I'm gonna get turned right now. I just really want to go out and get turned. Is that, yes, there is that euphoric feeling, and probably it's associated with some kind of divinity. But I think also you're talking about an era that predates refrigeration. So pickling, potting, preserving, and fermentation is a way of keeping stuff bacteria free. And alcohol was used for wounds. It was used to disinfect wounds. And in terms of beer, what we now know, we can carbonate, filter, heat, pasteurize, all that stuff. But in London, for example, in the 18th and 19th century, beer was safer to drink than water. So it was a necessity, because you would boil it, you'd boil away the pathogens, you would have flavor. But kids were drinking beer mad early because it was safer for them to drink that than water. Even milk, until Louis Pasteur created pasteurization and heating things to a point where you can kill the pathogens, milk was one of the most scandalous products out there. There was a case, I believe it was in Illinois, where a farmer was using pond water to stretch out his milk, and there were like wriggling things in it. People were using chalk to stretch out. It was disgusting. And there was no FDA at the time. So cultures developed things like alcohol initially out of necessity, initially popularized it as religious sacrament. I practice the Jew craft, so we do the kiddush and the toast and whatever else. But then it also was a means of having a beverage, a libation that was safe. And again, it's an industry, and it employs people. And that which you consumed was sort of a status thing. So if you look at like the French Revolution in the 1780s, there's a reason why Charles Dickens wrote that scene about the cask of wine breaking and the peasants are scooping it up with their hands, because the rich people would get essentially the first pressing of the grapes. And then there's something called the lees, which are the stems, the seeds, the skins. And they would get this kind of Mad Dog 2020 vibe.
Don't talk shit about Mad Dog 2020, Adam.
I will talk shit about Mad Dog 2020.
You, my friend, you haven't had the bling bling blue raspberry. You're telling on yourself.
I can't say I haven't had it. Do I look like a man that hasn't felt the love of Boone's Farm?
Arbor Mist. You ever slapped the bag at him?
Cisco and Alizé. I'm from Brooklyn, my friend. I know my way around some Mad Dog 20. The grapefruit was my shit. But the thing is, there is a quality. So then it became a matter of status. And then it became a matter of an industry. And the truth is, without the Midwest, and that's what, to speak to what Arian said earlier about history. So look at American immigration. You had, the big jokes, the Pilgrims left Plymouth and landed in Plymouth. And random factoid, if you go to Salem, Massachusetts, there's a statue of a guy who founded Salem. His last name is Conant, Conant. He is a relative of Scott Conant from Chopped, my buddy who runs Scarpetta Restaurant. Anyway, little random ass fact. But you have mostly English immigration. So that means you're having ales. But when Germans came largely to the Midwest, that's when you started seeing Pilsners. That's when you started seeing American-style lagers. Captain Pabst was a boat captain whose boat wrecked in Milwaukee, and he said, yeah, fuck it, I'll just try making beer. Schlitz worked for another brewery. The guy died, and he was clever, so he marries the widow. He finessed his way and suaved on the widow so he could get the brewery. And then that's how he started brewing. And that's how that style of beer was born. You think it's an accident, that it's random, that Anheuser-Busch is in St. Louis, that Rolling Rock is in Latrobe, that Coors is in Golden, Colorado? This is where that immigration pattern settled. New York, it's English, so it's ales. And you're finding those things. And then you're slowly seeing these differences. It's not an accident. The cool thing is, now that we can study soil composition, we go, oh my God, the southern coast of Long Island has the exact same terroir as the northern coast of Africa and the southern coast of France. And that's why you can make wines on Long Island. That's why you can go to Macari and Conta Costa and Bedell and get these ill wines. Now,
Pangea.
Yeah. So, right. I mean, that's the greatest thing. And for me, yes, as a sneakerhead, I love that they're doing merch drops. I like that it's all limited. I like that you can get the shit that no one else has. But I'm American, I'm the proud son, grandson, nephew of veterans and stuff. And to champion like a food product and to be able to go on a show as popular as this one and go, no, that's not Italian. Mm-hmm. That's American.
It's fascinating.
I
love surprised by that.
You're like a fucking. I was texting a group. You're like an almanac, bro. Like your food history almanac, and it's insane.
Thank you, bro.
It's crazy because it's and I grew up watching the show, and I was a big fan of it. But you never know. I guess you just never. I never thought of how much of the history that you've picked up along the way, and what it actually meant to you. I could tell this shit means a lot to you, and I appreciate that because I don't think we really understand. How much, we were talking earlier, how much food is incorporated in everything that we do and everything that we love. And along the lines, man, I want to ask you, brother, it's hard. So my favorite food in the world is Japanese ramen. It's okay. So I went to Japan and to your point, bro, it wasn't about money to this shop. So we went to this it was in Kyoto, Japan. So we went to this it's gorgeous downtown Kyoto. I'm talking about people. Get up at 5 a.m. and sweep their porches off in downtown Kyoto. There's not a piece of trash on the street. It's just a gorgeous place. And so we went to this place, and it was we had to get a ticket, and it was it's an hour-long wait. And so we just going around the city in the shops, and it's this small, no bigger than a small room, 8 seats. That's all they wanted. That's all they have, and you have to wait an hour and some change for it. And there was this dude who he didn't let anybody else cook the broth, For years, for 40 years, he don't let he gets up every single morning and that's what he does. He cooks the broth, he makes the ramen, and it's that he just loves it. And it's that kind of I've never had a better meal. And so your travels along the world and in this country, what is your favorite dish that you have ever had?
Oh, and it's not like a cop out answer. My mom makes this like spinach pie. It's not like Greek spanakopita,
Right.
but my mom's spinach pie is like fire. Like my mom would call me in college, like, okay, you're coming home. What do you want? And then you know how on like Wheel of Fortune they now just like give you RNSTLE because they know you're already gonna say the shit. They're like, it's like okay, besides spinach pie, but like I think you hit like you really nailed it, man. Like there's in Japan in particular there's not just like this kind of pride in workmanship that you find across all fields that if you're on the train, they make ekibento, and the bento box you get on the bullet train, you could sell in New York for $35, $40.
100%, bro.
And the katsu, the milk bread, every little relish. And it's funny that you mentioned the thing with the ramen, like, so the base of the ramen, the broth, it's called tare. And I filmed an episode. You could probably still find it. I did a show called Secret Eats, and there's a place in Milwaukee, and they just got a Michelin star called Ardent. But what they do periodically when the chef gets a wild hair, they clear off all the they'll do it mid-shift. They clear off all the white tablecloths, take off all the silverware. They light this little red lamp outside, and they turn it into a Japanese ramenya. And the tare, the base, it takes 26 to 30 hours to make it. And they cook down bones long enough that they can puree the bone. That's how long that they're stewed. So I would say in Hiroshima, Japan, I had this lionfish that was bonkers. I had there's a place in Australia. It's the one that they always show, like every influencer. It's the place with the pool right next to the ocean. I think it's called Hotel Iceberg or some shit like this. There's a fish called hapoka, and like you don't need to put any, just like raw, a little bit of olive oil, banging. And there's a restaurant in Rome, and like Rome is like it's like it's like unfair. I joked around. We were filming there during Passover, and like I had bread every day and finished with ham and a trip to the Vatican. But there's a restaurant called Rassioli. It's on Via della Giubanari in Rome, and it's 75 yards from where Julius Caesar was stabbed. It's fact. You can look it up. It's called Largo della Torre Argentina. But Rassioli is like they were a bakery that started making food because they didn't like the way other places made it. So I would say the homemade burrata, the cured meats, and the pastas from Racioli. Like it's one of the few places on earth I'd say you can't get a bad meal, But I think every state kind of has that. It's like, Joe's Stone Crab. I know that their key lime pie and their stone crab and their leonade potatoes are unfuckwithable. I know that the poke from Kahuku Superette Hawaii is ridiculous. Sandwich to Miami, amazing, amazing Cubano. Ted Peters smoked fish by the highway in Tampa. So I mean, there are certain like standouts. Like as I rack my brain, hell, Prince of Pizza on Coney Island Avenue and Avenue U in Brooklyn, their pepperoni pizza. My dad used to get pepperoni, black olive, garlic, and onion. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm not saying it gave me a boner, but I felt a heartbeat in it.
Adam, we're doing Pizza Fest next Saturday. Dave Portnoy's putting on a big pizza festival.
I saw that.
In New York. You want to come? My band's playing in it.
Yes. Oh, what kind of music y'all play?
We do pop punk, and we do covers, and we do originals. We just do songs that people have a good time listening to, singing along to. You should come out. I imagine that you're a good singer. Are you a good singer?
I'd like to think so. Yeah. I mean, I went to Yale Drama School, and that was like part of the component of you had to go. So, I mean, I don't think Bobby Fino is going to want me to do a drop on the next track, but or he may want to drop me off the next track.
I'll get you on the list if you want to come to Pizza Fest. It should be a great time.
I'm better than Ice JJ Fish, so I think I got that going for me.
He a legend, bro.
I shitting on him.
Fish slander, he's a legend, though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I can't slander. He did a track with Tyler. All I did is download, all I do is download his music. But I'd love to go. And to be fair, and it's not like me trying to like tie it in, but like pop punk stuff you like to sing. That's why I get behind this. That's why, yes, I legit, rock with Spam, and I legit have the turkey pepperoni in my fridge, even before I got lucky enough to work with the folks at Hormel or go to the Spam Museum and this, that, and the third. But you got to remember, right? Spam's big in Hawaii because the Japanese internment wouldn't let Japanese people fish anymore. They needed a source of protein. And so this is something that is culturally connected to people.
I didn't know that.
And so when you do this and pepperoni pizza, why do you think there's a National Pepperoni Pizza Day? Because no matter where you're from, black, white, brown, but no matter where you're from, no matter what your job is, no matter what your education level is, you know it's going to be good. It's the music that you know. It's the song you already know the lyrics to, and you want to sing along to it. Why not rock some cool shit along with it? This thing right here, it's a glass thing with a hammer. And this is a case of cheese pizza break glass and there's pepperoni in it. And like this limited edition. And yes, I would stunt in the pepperoni rims. I think life's too short not to have pepperoni, deuces.
I would too. I know Big T's got a question for you. He also went to school in Knoxville.
Oh, did you?
So I went to UT also. But I was going to ask you along. You mentioned you're from New York. You lived in Atlanta. I lived in both those places. And obviously you've been all around the country. So maybe not necessarily what's your favorite region of the country in terms of food, but just what are things you've picked up on or noticed as you've gotten to go all over the country and eat food that's everywhere?
That's a great question. Well, I think that it all comes back to like immigration, right? So you go to South Carolina, you have low country cuisine or gullah cuisine. That's directly from the slave trade. That's she crab soup, shrimp and grits, cornbread dressing or stuffing. That by the way, you know why it's called dressing? Because getting stuffed is a pretty rude word in English heritage. The South largely was English and Irish settlers, so it became cornbread dressing. So like I love that. And I think that in the South also, because of the pirates, from Mobile on down to the Gulf, the term barbecue comes from the pirate Jean Lafitte, and it comes from barbecue, to cook meat over a spit. And or fajita is skirt steak, that the idea of this slow and low thing, there's a reason behind it. There's different immigration patterns. In San Francisco and New York, we have these prolific Chinatowns. We have Harlem, and that's going to bring a different type of thing. The chicken box in Maryland, right? Super popular, the Royal Farms chicken box. That actually, again, comes from the Underground Railroad. When you put flour and water around a protein, it makes a seal. So the last meal before the final push of the Underground Railroad to cross the Mason-Dixon line, they would get chicken, a little bit of bread for sustenance, and that's the origin of the chicken box. So I think that you have that aspect through the South. Midwest, you have all the drovers, chuck wagon meals, so skillet stuff, hush puppies that get their name from using the leftover cornbread, feeding it to the trail dogs to get them to stop howling at the moon and scaring the cattle. So hush puppy. And then in California, you have all the wave of Asian immigration. You have the miners coming from the West to the gold rush in Northern California. And yes, as Arian said in the beginning, Southwest, you have Arapaho, Navajo, Apache, Lakota Sioux. You have Mexico right below you. Sonora is right by Tucson. So, I think that you notice these trends that all harken back to their history of what makes these states and makes these places great.
I love it. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Adam.
Hold on, I got one more last question.
Okay, one more last question.
I'm getting the wrap it.
I know. I saw that.
No, my bad, but I got to ask this. Like I said 30 times, I was a big fan of the show.
Thank you, my guy.
What is your favorite, how you do those the challenges where you had to eat like 78 pancakes, whatever. What is your favorite one of them joints that you did where it was like, the food was bomb, but I had to eat all of it? Like, what was your best one?
Okay. I can say this one easy and quick. Alaska, Humpies in Anchorage. It was called the Kodiak Arrest, which my mother hated the name of. But what was cool was it wasn't a lot of one thing. It was a huge platter of a bunch of things, and they were all local. Straight up, I asked the chef, where do you get the crab from? He walks me to the front of the restaurant and goes, that boat. Where do you get the salmon from? From the salmon cakes. He goes, that boat. Where do you get the berries from the cobbler? He goes, 3 traffic lights down, go 2 miles, the farm on the right. And that kind of thing. So Humpies, I'll put it this way. There and One in a Million in Austin, Texas are the few places I did a challenge that I've gone back just to grind, just to have food.
Yeah, 100 million. Excellent place. Awesome breakfast tacos.
Send me the info on Pizza Fest, and best of luck to you and your band, man.
I'm going to send that to you for sure, and also I'm going to send you something else. I saw you put out a tweet saying that you're going to Aberdeen, Scotland. One of my best friends, he lived with me when I lived in Austin. He's from Aberdeen. I reached out to him. I've got a lot of recommendations for you on that front, so I'm going to send it over to you. But thank you for joining us, Adam.
PepperoniShop.com, man. Get you the merch. 1 p.m. of the new drops. If you don't get the rims, I'm going to beat you to them.
Sounds good, man. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll catch up soon, all right?
All right. So good to talk to y'all.